Hi everyone and welcome to Homerino Collectibles, where today we're going to be taking a look at the Star Wars Black Series 6-inch Han Solo and Luke Skywalker in Stormtrooper armor. So I'm going to be doing a double review just simply because the mold that they're using is obviously well used by now, and I've done a couple of reviews of it already with the Sand Trooper and the Stormtrooper. But also we can look at the slight differences between the molds, because here we have a slightly actually retooled version of it for Luke. So it's nice and easy to go ahead and compare them together. So first up, let's just move Luke to one side, throwing his helmet, and compare Han Solo with a Stormtrooper. Now the actual body is exactly the same. He is basically a Stormtrooper with a different head. Except here on the gun, we actually get a little bit of painted silver, which we didn't get on the regular Stormtrooper, which I do like that addition. So that's how they look together. As you can see, it's not super out of proportion or anything. Let's just get a bit better, a bit darker focus there. As you can see, it's not out of proportion. You know, they do look perfectly fine together. He stands a little bit taller like that, but that's about it. So they do look pretty good. This helmet is a little bit dirty. It's just the way it came. But yeah, so apart from it being a little bit taller, that is very good. So if we compare the articulation, as you can see, you actually get a lot more out of this Han Solo figure. Yes, you do see a bit of his hair in there, but that doesn't matter too much. You can get him to look up that much, whereas with the Stormtrooper, you can get him to look up that much. So they look about the same up, maybe even this one a little bit more. So I would say that it's a very good execution of applying a helmet there. You know, it hasn't really made it look off in comparison to other Stormtroopers, so you could definitely go ahead and stand these two in with other Stormtroopers on your display if that's what you want to use them for, like I'm going to do. And it just doesn't look too strange, and it's not awkward. Like I'm really happy that they did actually go with this hollowed out helmet as opposed to just like an interchangeable head and helmet or something like that. Because what this means obviously is that you have a couple of helmets now that you could put on any other 6-inch figure and make him a Stormtrooper. So you could have like a Deadpool Stormtrooper or something. So that's really awesome. You know, you could paint this helmet red, keep the black bits, and whack it on a Deadpool figure. I think that's really awesome. Now there is a couple of differences here. The Luke Skywalker one has these 3 lines in and has a number 1 inside, whereas the Han Solo basically doesn't have that. So this is a slightly bigger fit than this. So that gives you even more choice as to what other figures you could put them on. And that's basically just because of the sculpt of Han Solo's hair and whatnot, and the size of his head, it is just a little bit bigger. So if you try to put this helmet on Han, it won't go on. Or at least not without being forced. And if you put the other helmet on Luke, it goes on really easy and can be a little bit loose. Fits just fine, but obviously this one is the one that's meant to go on there, so it doesn't wiggle around. So the differences between the mold is in the neck piece. As you can see here, Han Solo just has this new floating piece that covers up that bit of articulation right there, whereas with Luke, he's got a new chest piece, and so that is actually just molded in there. Now I had thought originally that they had shortened the midsection right here, but at closer inspection you can actually see that the torso piece is actually wider, which I thought would be quite strange. You'd have thought that they would have just kept the torso pieces the same size, so that pretty much all Stormtrooper armor was like a kind of one size fits all kind of thing. But it is indeed actually a little bit wider and just sits down lower, like it's just extended more. So that actually isn't what makes him taller or smaller. As you can see, it's in these hips. There's more of a gap here than there is here. So they've actually shortened him down at the legs as opposed to at the torso. Or as far as, you know, as far as I can see, that's how it is. Also, we have a different belt. So as you can see, Han Solo is rocking the standard Stormtrooper belt, whereas Luke here has the communicator that he uses to talk to C-3PO. And also on the back, we have the grapple hook. Now this does get in the way of articulation a little bit. Sometimes, you know, you might get it like stuck underneath that and whatnot, and when you do move it around, it's going to bend it a little bit. It doesn't hinder articulation, but it does just get in the way a little bit. So you just want to be careful that you don't accidentally break that or something. But exactly the same gun, but obviously you know, this one, it does not have that silver part on it. So I'm not sure why it just went on the Han Solo one, but I do wish it was on there, but never mind. So let's just go over the articulation real quick. So obviously the heads can go up, down, left and right. The shoulders come out this far, they go all the way around. We have a rotation at the part of the arm, double jointed elbow, which, you know, is kind of hindered because of all the armor there. And then we have a wrist rotation, and then the hinge that goes in and out. At the waist piece here, obviously you can move that around, ratchet it a little bit, and then it rocks up and down and side to side. And then here the leg articulation is really quite hindered because you have to really squeeze it underneath that because of the fact that there's less room there now. And then they come out this far to the side. They can also rotate a little bit. Double jointed knees, feet go up and down and have really good ankle pivot. Now as for Han Solo, obviously in the hips you get much better articulation. It's much easier to move those because there is a bit more of a gap there. So absolutely fantastic figures. If you want to just use them as Stormtroopers, they will look absolutely fantastic. Let's just go ahead and get them in a pose kind of holding a weapon or something. So as you can see, they look absolutely fantastic, and you can definitely just use them as Stormtroopers, and that's what I'm going to use them for, and they just look really, really awesome. If you want a real quick comparison, there is a Sand Trooper. So I'm not going to do a review of this guy just because the only difference to the other one is the fact that it's got an orange pauldron. But I do have both versions. The other version is the one I did the video of, obviously. But yeah, absolutely fantastic. I love the Black Series. I love this Stormtrooper mold. I really would love to get a Battlefront style Shock Trooper version, you know, a red one. That would look really, really cool. But yeah, as for these guys, I highly, highly recommend them. Whether or not you just want more Stormtroopers and you can find these guys cheaper than the actual Stormtrooper, it does give you a bit more of a kind of variation in your army, because you've got Han Solo, which, you know, it looks a little bit bigger at the neck right there. You've got Luke that stands a little bit smaller and looks actually a bit chubbier. Because as we all know, by this point in the film's episode 4, the Stormtroopers were not clones anymore. So, you know, it's really, really good to get that variation. So, thanks for watching, guys. If you enjoyed the video, go ahead and give it a like. And if you want to see more pictures of other things coming up for future reviews, then go ahead and follow me on Instagram. It's Homerino123. The link is in the description below. If you want to check out some Star Wars Battlefront gameplay, go ahead and check out my Twitch. The link is in the description below, where you'll find I'm actually going to be streaming in about half an hour, but obviously by the time this has gone up, that's gone, and today's Tuesday, so it's the last day of the Battlefront beta. So, but I will actually, you know, save it on Twitch, so you can go ahead and watch it back. It'll be about an hour's worth of a stream before I go to work. And for more updates from the channel to see when videos go live and so on, then go ahead and follow me on Twitter. The link is also in the description below. So if you want to check out more Star Wars Black Series reviews, go ahead and subscribe. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you next time.